What time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, he's back from the dead. Your show. Putting it on the map, yeah. Saskatoon. Right next to New York. New York. Yeah, what show, yeah. Your show. What time is it? Your show. Yeah, time to talk some shit, yeah. Your show.
You've tuned in, yeah?
Yeah, von Maggie. Bark, bark, wolf, wolf, move on to treat, yeah. Keep listening.
That dog is just so beautiful. Happy Wednesday to you, and welcome to your show. My name is Gary. I am your buxom host, and this is the only live show in Saskatoon from 4 to 5 p.m. live on YouTube, still as far as we know. Monday to Friday. Very exciting. As well, we are the only show that we know of that makes up a category and says their number one in to kick off the show, including today's category of being the only show that says they're number one in random categories to start the show. Nothing. Crickets. All right. Well, I can't win them all. Hey, one clap. I'll take that. Woo! We also kick off every show with the greatest camera in the history of the universe. That camera is the Margaret camera. Proudly brought to you by our great friend. Oh my God, she's too cute. I should have looked first. Got my heart going, man. That is such a cute dog. Proudly brought to you by our great pals over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer, Mike and Rochelle, along with Leroy, always there to give you the greatest experience of your life. As well, after hours and on the weekends, Kirsten, Shar, or Chris are there to help you out as well. And dare I say, one of the greatest cleaning stations in the history of all pet stores. I'm not joking. They will get your animal so clean, and they got all the different options. You flip the knobs, and you get the soaps and the dryer and everything. It's fantastic. Along with everything else you need to basically help your animal or your pet or even you live the greatest life possible. Thank you again to Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer, as Margaret slowly drifts off. She knows now she's got about 57 minutes until it's supper time. That's what you're looking at. That's what she's dreaming about, that delicious food from Pet Planet on 8th Street. So normally, we kick off the Wednesday edition of your show with a little trip to the land down under. And we eat some Vegemite sandwiches and crush some Foster's beer. JK, those things are hated in Australia. Not too many people know about that. But our Zoom capabilities with our transmitter is down, and normally you're not supposed to show the people, the realness of the situation, but we're always real here, so that's a good part of being live. So the Zoom portion for us right now is gremlined up. We're going to send LB up into the rafters and see if he can't figure out where the disconnect is, but until then, we will not be able to say hi to our friend Adrian the Canadian today, so we will move him to next week. But we brought in one hell of a relief pitching staff. We got guys here. That's the thing about your show. When you do a live show Monday to Friday, for 1 hour, you get a roster of guys that show up and guys that produce. We're talking about those glue guys, the bench guys, and I got one sitting beside me right now. You know him from Strip Down and so much more. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Curtis Anderson.
That was quite the introduction, Gary.
We didn't
You
get
started
you to
off
walk
saying, talking about your beautiful dog, and I wanted to point out Gary is a beautiful dog, as just DAWG.
You're my doggy as
that
well, bro.
Beautiful dog. And number two, I had no idea the show started at 4. You're always like, hey, Kurt, we want you to come on as like the main person. Come on at 4:53. And I always show up at 4:53, and I think that's apparently this goes on for like 53 minutes before I get here, and I'm just always on at the very end. I'm the tail end. I'm the caboose. Look at me.
I'm on a podcast where they just make me do fingery things all the time.
We got Coach
I've seen that podcast
too here as well.
I downloaded the wrong one.
He's Ed McManning today. He'll be on the side as we make our way through this adventure.
Thanks for the invite, Gary. I didn't know I was replacing our Canadian Down Under. I would have wore my Halloween costume, which was Ray Gun. And we could have kept up our Australian viewership for today's.
That would have been good.
Yeah.
I'm looking to get some sponsorship in Australia for us. I feel like that'd be a good opportunity.
Yep. There's got to be like 6 or 7 Vegemite production facilities.
Something. Well, I think we lost Foster's and Vegemite because we chirp it a lot.
What? How do you chirp Vegemite?
Dude, no one eats it there. It's
know.
just because of the song. The song made all these things famous. Mm-hmm. But I do know that our good friend Adrian the Canadian, a.k.a. Coach Numero Uno, has a bunch of connections in Australia and like businesses and corporations. So I wanted to like break in. Maybe we do a road trip to Australia.
Could you imagine?
Take the damn family down there and do some heavy lifting, if you will.
Right? Bring the shit.
At least
Could you
some
imagine taking
sales
us on the
calls.
road and the first place we go is Australia?
I think that'd be pretty awesome.
Right?
Aim high.
wild.
That's what I've always said with this place. Just aim high, guys. Like I had people telling me that we should set up our vocal booth just in a corner and wrap a curtain around it, like guys do in their closets. And I was like, well, you guys, yeah, if we were like trying to hustle and flow here, sure.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard out here for a pimp. But if we're doing it in this place, we're doing it right. And then we ended up triple soundproofing our vocal booth, and now it's better quality than most places in the city.
Fact.
Aim high. Which brings me to my next question, Curtis Anderson.
Yo.
How close are we to finding an animator?
Oh,
Don't get me angry. Don't you dare get me angry.
this has been weighing on my mind a lot. I
Mine
am
too.
in year 3. No, probably more than that. I was getting some leeway. I was shopping around a cartoon. I wrote.
Let's
I got
put
some
the
initial.
call out again.
I got some initial animation done. I got some initial like sketches. I have 13 completely polished and completed episodes.
Incredible.
I've got the story arc.
By
I've
the
got
way.
the story Bible. Did you finish it?
I'm on 12.
Oh, okay. So I
close.
started reaching out in 2019, and I was getting some like good positive feedback from production houses. But the problem is, production houses don't usually make stuff whole cloth, right? They need like some sort of television station to hand them a project. So they're like, "This is great. This is like better than a lot of the stuff we make, but
is.
we need it to come from like HBO." And I was like, "Well, hold on. Let me just call my friends at HBO, right?" So I was getting some traction. I was getting my name out there, and then 2020 happened. So jump forward, we're still all, even the entertainment industry is recovering. And now everyone's telling me, oh, like animation isn't really in anymore because it's so expensive now. So now it's cheaper to use
Real
stupid
people.
people and like an iPhone than to pay someone to make animation. And I'm like, so did like,
Wait,
Right?
I have an idea.
yeah.
Here we go.
You know, there's those filters on the camera
Yeah.
that can make people look animated.
Yeah.
We just be real people, but we animate ourselves.
Right? Like, can't I just push people through the, like, aha mirror, like in a video Take On Me,
exactly.
and just make them
Take
animated?
on me. It's one of the greatest videos of all time, by the way.
You usually hit it, but that was off.
No, it
No.
sounded great to me.
Man, my voice is still a little raspy.
I had my eyes closed, and I was like, are they here right now? Is that the musical guest for Wednesday? Is aha
I
here?
wish. Could you imagine?
They're not Australian, are they? What is aha? What is aha? Are they
Dude.
Australian? They can't be.
No.
They might.
Hey.
Someone fact check. Are
Hey,
they
we got Ugly
Australian?
Kid Joel in the house. Yo. I think they're Norwegian.
Nice.
I do know that
That's
they get
pretty much
played a
next
lot.
door. Right?
Yeah, Norway.
Yeah.
I love
See?
Norway.
Formed in
Nailed. That guy knows
Oslo.
music right there.
So
Little
yeah,
foreshadowing for
I'm
later.
trying to get this off the ground,
Okay.
and then you're like, I've got Saskatoon's best voicing booth. And I was
Yeah.
like, perfect.
We can voice her. We can get all
Is there
the. and this guy's
$26
got-
million
oh,
under the mat in front? Because if it is, then we can get this show animated properly.
It makes me so upset as a guy who's like currently going through the journey that you've set up with this series. And I've been so entertained by it and so mind blown that I've been able to visualize everything that is in that script. Like
I
right
appreciate
down
that.
to the characters, to the town that it's set in and everything. And I have ideas for the voices and all this stuff. And then I keep remembering, oh yeah, but somebody has to animate this.
Right.
How
I
the
appreciate
hell
that, Gary.
do we find an animator?
I'm constantly writing and creating,
Love
and then
that.
I'll put a project down. I'll come back into a week later, and 99% of the time I'm like, wow, this sucks. Like, take it out back, put a bullet in it, and let's move on.
Yep.
My book that I sold was like the first one that I was like, no, this is different. This is good, and I feel that way with this cartoon.
Man, it's
I've had like
really good.
30 projects come and go since then, and I keep going back to it. I'm like, no, I got to keep pushing this. So it's out there. I have an agent. She's pushing it, but it's tough. Nobody's taking animation right now. Nobody's looking for it, apparently. Or else they're just lying to me.
One or the other.
One or the other. Maybe it's both.
See, and that just upsets me because you feel like now, especially, the same thing that took all the wind out of those sails has created so much opportunity for places like what we have here, and for people who I
Mm-hmm.
imagine would be animators that want to do it their own way and within a budget that people can afford.
Well, and you look at how many jobs are just obsolete from the last
Yeah.
5 years, and how technology has progressed and made everything easier, made everything more accessible, and you don't need this, you don't need this, and it's like, but animation is 3 times as expensive as it was in
No
2019.
sense. Makes
What
no
happened?
sense, yeah.
What happened?
I don't like it.
Can't
one
I go
bit.
to AI and be like 13 full animated episodes?
You probably could.
Apparently not.
We'd still have to voice them though, right?
Absolutely.
I hope. Good, because I want to get those voices going. This guy over here, Coach.
Well, we already have
He's
Aha,
a great voice.
right?
Crushed it.
Yeah.
That was good.
Take on me.
He's coach 2, but number 1 in my heart.
I want to get him on here. I
get
thought we'd
him
just
on here.
leave him out there, but he's just way too much of a
He'll
interesting
me out.
fella. Look
Whoa,
at this.
look at this.
Look at that. Oh, nice. Phenom. Well
You're-
done.
Oh.
He gave us a little flip, and then we flip back, and we roll. Look at that. There he is. Say
I don't
hello.
know where to look again, so I'm just gonna.
Well,
look
you're
at
going to
you
be way
guys.
too confused now. We got too many cameras rolling, but that's okay. You mentioned something about local wrestling, my friend.
Yeah, I finally took a Saturday off, and
There we
I
go.
took in Prairie Pro Wrestling, their Halloween horror show. It's their biggest. It's like their WrestleMania. It's their biggest
Love
event
that.
of the year, and
Cosmo Senior?
yeah,
Okay.
and it's amazing and frustrating. It's frustrating because it sells out, and it's packed.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because it's sold out and it's packed. If that makes sense.
Absolutely. You're
You're
used to the,
looking,
you're used to
you're
the
looking at
intimate
this
environment.
little local promotion turning dozens, if not 100 people away because they're
crazy.
sold out. They're at
That's-
capacity.
That never used to be the case.
I know.
Oh boy.
And you're like, guys, get a bigger venue. But there's apparently been talks and there's reasons that they stay at the Cosmo. And is it better to sell out a small venue than to have a larger?
You know, our friends, not just with One Bad Son, they talked about that too.
Yeah.
The difference between, you know, doing a tour and then a stadium tour. And we've been talking to a couple other people after the Pennywise and Dropkick show. How Pennywise and most punk bands, they can't do the big stadiums because it's just, you don't get enough people and you're way too away, way too far from the energy that's coming out. So that's why those, like, if that Pennywise show would have been at a Louis or something like that, it would have been insane.
I would have been in the pit.
That's right. And they did have a pit at SaskTel Center, but
Right.
it's just you didn't have the same feeling. And that's sort of the deal. Do you want to have that way less intimate but way more money grab, or do you want to stay true to your roots and entertain the people?
It's always a struggle. Guns N' Roses is my favorite band. I saw them at their stadium show with the original lineup in whatever that was, 2018, when they all got back together. Giant, arena in Regina. Everybody's like, that's as good as it got. I disagree.
Here we go.
I saw Axl and his cover band in 2006 in Rexall Center in Edmonton. And it was the craziest crowd I have ever seen. We were drowning out Axl. He came out in like an Oilers jersey and he was trying to do so the mayor made me an official Oiler today. I was walking and everyone is just chanting, Axl, Axl. And he does the WWE. He's like,
Yeah,
he puts it, and he's looking back and forth, and he's just like, blanket, let's keep playing. And everyone's like, yeah. And we kept drowning him out every time he tried to do his little in-between talk.
Yeah.
And you could see it on his face. He was like, what is happening here? Like,
These
we
are
were
people.
doing something to Axl Rose that night, and he was just like, this crowd is nuts. Let's just keep going. Let's keep going.
You were feeding off the energy.
And halfway, one of his talks, he did put down the mic again. He's like, I bet the people of Edmonton are happy I showed up tonight with this crowd and this kind of energy. Didn't want this to turn negative. That's my Axl Rose talking.
He's so good.
He always drops
so
that
good.
like last.
The last little bit.
That last little
Yeah.
bit always drops a couple octaves.
I had no idea this. So he actually, it was just him with a cover band?
Well, it was like his Guns N' Roses
Yeah.
at the time. It was like,
It's like all the different guys.
yeah. Was Buckethead in it, or was Buckethead already gone and we had Bumblefoot? I think we had Bumblefoot.
And the show didn't struggle. Like, it was still
No,
like a
it sounded
DNR.
great.
Yeah, the voice is usually what you connect to, right? with
One
most
hundred
music.
percent. Don't even get me started on that. 'Cause
Yes.
I have too many musician friends, but a band is 90% the lead singer. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You're saying that when our
I'm
local
sorry,
music guy
I
is
know,
right here looking
I
at
know,
us.
It's an unpopular opinion, but if I quit my job and did nothing but play guitar in like 10 years, I could probably play as good as Slash. I could never sing as good as Axl.
It's not a terrible point. Back to like 99% of the pro athletes in the world just winning the genetics lottery. I
Right?
see what you're saying. You got that 1% that works hard and gets through.
And I'm not saying musicians aren't naturally talented. It's not what I'm saying at all. Of course you are.
Not.
But I'm saying if I devoted 100% of my life into an instrument, I could probably come close. I wouldn't have like the music knowledge and the natural.
But if you're doing it as your only job, you'd be spending 10, 12 hours a day and you'd get there.
You would get there.
Yeah.
You would be on the same level skill-wise, if not creativity-wise, but skill-wise, you would be at the same level as some of the greats.
So is it the voice? Sorry for interrupting. Is
No,
it
go
the
ahead.
voice or the stage presence /
Ooh, that's a good question.
That makes
charisma? Like
The swagger.
The swagger. So he's a lead
front
singer.
men
It's like front men.
rarely have both, and that's what makes a good front man. That's why an Axl Rose stands out, is because he can sing and he has swagger and he has stage presence and he's insane and he would push his own mother down the stairs and
The
So
same
hypothetically
things-
speaking, Matt Cuthbertson goes and fills in for Slash. You're
that's
still getting the same enjoyment show because you have Axl at the front.
Yep.
Even though Slash has those moments.
Slash is the legend. Slash is part of the aura. Slash is what you come to see.
Okay.
Here's a question for you.
But I haven't seen Axl Rose playing guitar on the top of a card in a Michael Jackson video. Just saying.
If you want to break it down, because Axl did his own stuff as well, right? Did his own stuff do as well as Axl's own stuff?
You mean Slash?
Slash, sorry.
Slash
yeah,
did
sorry,
his own
my
stuff.
bad.
Yeah, he has Slash's Snake Spit.
Yeah. And he had
Was it as popular as Guns N' Roses? No.
he's got a couple songs that got some airplay.
I feel like I'm ragging on people who aren't Axl Rose, and I'm not. I'm just making my point that
There's no rag in here. We're having a conversation.
I
It's a big
read
difference.
in Steven Tyler's autobiography from Aerosmith about how nobody really understands how much pressure it is on the lead singer, because you do interviews everywhere you go, every radio station, they want the lead singer. So you're talking all day, you're doing multiple interviews, you still have to save your voice, whereas, you break a string, you replace the string, you're good to go. So he said it's tough because the radio stations and, all the media, they want the lead singer. And by the time you've done 6 or 7 interviews all day promoting that show, you're struggling,
Yeah, absolutely.
And you
that
got
makes
to
perfect sense.
Friend of the show, Gregor.
Gregor!
He told me one time he was interviewing Shaggy, and Shaggy was basically like,
Wasn't me.
He was legitimately like, all right, sir, let me know when we're on so I can put the voice on. And he was like, oh, all right. And he's like, okay, we're live in 3, 2, 1. Gregor! Oh, my boy. That's my Shaggy.
That's good too.
Right?
Incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have Shaggy and we have
Axl.
Aha so
Aha.
far.
And
for
then
the
Axl.
cartoon.
And then the dude that raps for Snow, Informer, is pretty much just a knockoff
Man won't
Shaggy.
turn in form.
So you could do that one too.
Yeah.
Dude. Man, how many times did he say it wasn't me? I have to hear this interview now.
Right?
All that, if that was me, dude, every single question would have been like, so are you the guy that did this? And just having to say, it wasn't me. That would be the whole interview.
Right?
I'll be making another come red-handed.
Yeah. So I hear your third opener at Louis tonight. No, it wasn't me.
Wasn't me. They rate themselves.
Right?
Oh, that's good.
Shaggy.
How many more good impressions do you think you can do? You're becoming an impressionist.
I haven't done one.
Touche. That's
I don't know. They come and they go. I was Ray Gun all night on Halloween running around, and
that's a bit
I didn't do the
hard one.
Australian.
No.
I didn't. I was like, no.
But you were dancing the whole time, right?
I was.
B-boying in your B-boy stance?
Yeah, I was out trick-or-treating with my daughter and her friend. People
Nice.
were loving the Ray Gun costume,
What's not to love, really?
right?
Like, you basically look like a cricket thrower breakdancing. Or a hurler or thrower. What do they call the cricket pitchers? Hurler, I think?
Yeah, I believe it's a hurler.
Yeah. It's a tough sport. The old cricket.
I went out the Saturday.
Bowler.
I went
Bowler,
out.
thank
Bowler.
I went out after the Prairie Pro Wrestling show and had some drinks, and that night I was definitely a hurler.
That's
Barf.
good.
How many
That's
days
good.
ago
Barf,
was that?
Gary.
That's
Barf.
good.
What?
How many days ago was that?
That was Saturday. Two
Saturday. I
Saturdays?
still see it in your
Last
eyes. Now
4
that you
days
say
ago, yeah.
something, when someone vomits and they said that they've gone out on a bender,
On a hurling?
and then you can see it. I see it in
I
your
wear
eyes
it on my
still a little
face.
bit.
I know. No regret. Prairie Pro Wrestling. They
Here we
put
go.
on a heck of a show, Gary.
Tell me all about it.
Uh,
Was there tables, ladders, and chairs? Oh, my.
There was. Michael Allen Richard Clark. I can't do it. I'm not going to embarrass myself.
That's pretty good.
He wrestled Mexican Devil El Asesino.
Assassino.
In, honestly, probably the best live local wrestling match I've maybe
Come
ever
on.
seen in my life.
Come on.
I cut together the highlights. I
got a highlight
recorded
pad?
it on my phone, and I cut it together and I posted it, and it is crazy stuff.
I'm so mad that it's not here right now. Can we pull it up? Can we watch it?
I don't know. Probably not. Maybe, I don't know.
Phenom might be able to if you send it to him.
It's on my. It's on.
He hasn't even
Murmur's
waved at the
media.
camera yet. Phenom, give me a camera 3 and let everyone know you're here. Say hi. There he is.
There he is.
I think I watched
The
it.
hand
Actually.
working hard.
Right. It was
I'm one of your 10 fans on the
nice.
YouTube.
I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
no problem.
Slowly
Yeah,
growing.
no, right.
Slowly growing. So
I have lots of fans, just not people who watch my stuff.
Yeah.
What?
I have tons of subscribers.
No,
Just
what
not
I've
engagement.
learned from the producers is that they have to watch a certain
Viewing hours.
Viewing hours, and so
God,
it's like some of your
don't
videos are
tell
long.
me
So if
any
someone
more about viewing
watches
hours.
5 minutes and then comes back, watches another part, but they're just hitting those parts that they want. You might not get a view. You know what I mean?
I'm already bored.
Silly.
I don't know how this
Exactly,
thing. I
sorry.
don't know how this stuff works. I just put stuff out there, and if someone likes it, good.
That's it.
If nobody watches it, that's fine.
Dude, I've talked to so many
Right?
people since I've started this thing. They're like, oh, views this, view that. And I just look at every single one dead in the eye. I said, you pay attention to that stuff. Like, oh, yeah, of course. Like, they'll be so down because their views for this show were less than that. I was like, man, try doing a live show every day. That's why I never, ever look at views or look at any of those other things that literally drive our business. If I were to get involved like those people do about their every little stat that sort of defines you as a person on this platform, I would die. It's way too stressful. So I just ignore all of that stuff, man.
It's something I've never thought about.
It's too much.
I finally posted before Halloween that interview I did with a girl who
You were saying
claims
it-
she's been haunted
and it
her
kept
whole
getting-
life. Claim sounded negative. She's been haunted her whole life. Took me forever to get her to tell her story.
Kept getting knocked down, you were saying.
And yeah, but she got up again. But what?
they
So I
Australian?
posted it, and I was like, people are gonna go crazy for this, and it like got no views, and I was like, well, okay, whatever. And, you know, you never know what's gonna take off on my channel and what doesn't. Some things take off, some don't. It's something I never really think about. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna put some money behind it. Here we go. So I was like, here is some money, YouTube. Push it out there. And YouTube replied with a laundry list of reasons why they would not take my money. They're like, there's capital letters in the intro. There's a scary imaging. You use, like, there's talks of suicide in here. And I was like, holy crap. This is stuff that prevents your videos from being seen?
Dude, I'm telling you.
I'm like, this has been going on for like 5 years of like capitalizing everything. I'm like,
YouTube
all right.
has no human beings listening to anything you put out there. Before anything gets posted, it goes through an entire screening process by Skynet. The T1000 looks and listens and goes over everything before he says, all right, you're good.
Yeah.
And like, there's no humans attached to it.
So like my channel isn't monetized or anything, but if it was, and that's how I was making a living, I would have starved by now, man.
That'd be it.
I'd hope someone would have tapped me on the shoulder in like 2019 and been like,
saying.
hey, here's what not to do.
The worst thing you can possibly do is start creating with those thoughts in mind. Like
Right.
anytime anyone would say, oh, well, you got to do this to get views, or you got to do this to get subscribers, or this or that. While we were building this place, I said, no, we're not going to do that. They're like, well, why? Everyone else does. I said, that's one reason why we're not doing it. The second reason is once you do that and get into that mind frame, it's no longer your creation. It's no longer your vision. You lose it all once you start giving to the man.
Yeah, you don't pander. When I was shopping my book around to publishers, this one publisher was like, have you thought about adding a vampire? Because they're really big right now. This was during Twilight. And I was like, let me think about it.
If you read the title,
Hang up on, I can't remember if that was before cell phones or not. It was like 2010. There were definitely cell phones.
Was the title already made?
The title, it was a working title. That was like my
Okay,
got
I
your
won't get
attention
too-
title.
I won't get too angry then. But clearly
Got
that
your
doesn't need a
attention title.
vampire.
And all over North America, they were like, yeah, we'd have to change the title. And I was like, yeah, absolutely, no problem. Sweden, however. They were like,
Sweden.
hell yeah, let's go. Love
you-
the title. And
are
I
you
was like,
huge in Sweden?
okay. Well, huge, man. I'm like their David Hasselhoff, right?
Isn't Hasselhoff from Sweden?
He's big in, is he from
Germany.
Sweden? He's
Just
big in
kidding.
Germany,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sorry.
I don't know. I'll ask him.
It's Germany.
Next time I'm hanging out with the Haas.
The big guy.
Yeah. Next
Okay.
time we're drinking on the floor.
Got a couple more minutes here
I'm
before we
sorry.
flip the switch. I want to just go over this match one more time. What were the circumstances for this?
I think it was just a grudge match. They were still feuding like a year ago.
I know.
last
I
time
remember like one of
saw
the
it.
last times I was because the last show I was
But
at
El
was
Assassino, such a good heel.
the best.
Right?
He's the best local heel by far.
And Michael Allen, Richard Clark.
Michael Allen, Richard Clark, and the whole crowd gets going. The last show I was at was the Jeff Cobb show.
Okay.
And it was when Jeff Cobb was coming out, and he was just taking off, like he was Ring of Honor, Jeff Cobb. He was like big deal. And he's walking in, and I got my camera out, like marking out so hard, like, oh my God, Jeff Cobb, I love you so much, I love you so much. And he looks at my phone, he goes, you recording this? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, good, because I'm gonna F this effer up. And we're like, oh, and it was like the coolest thing. And you can't have interactions like that with most people, but these local indie shows, that's what it all is. You're talking to them as they're going. It's incredible.
I was at WrestleMania 29. I left that show on Saturday night in a better mood than WrestleMania 29.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
The worst live wrestling, not saying this is worse, just saying the worst live wrestling will be better than what you see on TV, just because of that.
You're in it.
That atmosphere, that interaction. You can't replicate it. You can't sit there on your couch and watch it. When you're there live, you are screaming. You are trying to get a reaction. You're getting a reaction. There's give and take.
I got a perfect analogy for that. It's all the people that hate baseball. They say, oh, baseball's the worst. Can't watch it. It's too loud, this, that. But then they always follow up with, I'll watch it live all day. The live experience is incredible, but just it doesn't transfer over on TV. And it's the same thing with wrestling. Unless you're right there in it and feeling the energy and feeling what's happening, it's like, oh, whatever. They're just playing baseball.
Playoff baseball. People will argue that playoff baseball is different.
That's what people watch.
Somehow that comes through the screen, that playoff ball. You hear the crowds just constantly going. The air is a little bit colder, so that voice travels a little bit more, echoes back and forth. So it's,
Pop of the
it's
bat,
a little bit different.
So tables, ladders, and chairs.
Oh, my.
They're using tables, ladders, and chairs.
Yes.
And then at one point, they're wrestling. They're beating each other up in between the entrance and the ring. And they start pulling up the actual ramp. Now, I've never seen this before. The ramp is in two giant wooden pieces, right? So there's the top part and then the last little part.
Okay.
So they pick up the last little part and they're hitting each other with it. And it was pretty cool.
Wood?
You're not expecting that. Yeah, it's wood. And then they take the next part, I don't know if it was in the middle or the top, and they drag it towards the ring, and he slams them on it. And I was like, oh, that's a pretty cool spot, right? So you think it's not the one closest to the ground. It's the second one, right? So it's raised, and then there's just a sharp drop off of nothing. So they go back in the ring, tables, ladders, and chairs, tables, ladders, and chairs. At one point, Michael Allen, Richard Clark, he does that thing where he gets on the second rope, and then he suplexes the guy from
out to the back.
So, I don't know how he still has a back, but instead of just, suplexing somebody from the apron back in the ring, he climbs up on the second rope and does it from there. So he does that, and brings out Assassino back into the ring through a table that's set up in the ring. And that was cool. And you're like, what was brilliant about that was you're like, okay, there's that move. Cross that off the list. I've seen that through a table. And then, 10 minutes later in the match, they're wrestling on the ring apron on the other side, and he sets him up for it again. And I'm like, what? And then he does it outside the ring through the ramp.
Come on.
Just
blew it up?
Yeah, they busted the ramp. And I saw it after, and it wasn't gimmick. It was busted wood.
Yeah, you have to go through it.
He just lifted him up, and they both fell off the ring apron through the wooden ramp that was brought towards the ring. I don't know.
That's amazing.
Cool, man.
I'm very upset that I didn't get to see this now.
I will take that over Chris Jericho versus Fandango any day, which was my WrestleMania 29.
Dang, that's tough. Remember,
Yeah.
I forgot
I had
they
to
did
go all the way to
Y2J
New
Dirty.
Jersey to see Fandango.
That's a tough one, man.
I'm looking Fandango up. I've never heard of
he's
Fandango.
fantastic. He's big in Ring of Honor now, isn't he?
I have no idea.
They call him the Dirty Dango.
The-
That's his name now, is the Dirty Dango.
That's
be
a
my
better
too.
name.
Yeah, it's something.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
editor.
Greatly appreciate it. Strip down, where are we at? What's going on?
We are going to do something we've never done before on the last Tuesday of the month. We are going to do a live clips show, Gary.
Hey,
I'm going
here
to have
we
a
go.
bunch of clips ready to go. I might bring Finan in because he was really good on the trigger last time. I brought him in once when there was a lot of clips, and he could find that stuff, and he could play it.
He's so good.
So I'm just going to have 18 seasons worth of clips just ready to go, and then I'm going to be like, hit me. We're live. Ask some questions. You want to know about the time I interviewed Andy Schaaf with a double eye infection, and everybody hates me because of it? It was a train wreck episode. Andy Schaaf was 15 years old doing Christian folk and answered everything.
Eye infection?
Yes. No.
Riveting.
And I have an hour to fill, and my eyes are sizzling.
You had the eye infection.
Yeah, I had a double eye infection.
Oh, dude.
So I'm like, what's writing like? And he's like, good. And I'm like, how do you write? And he's like, at home. And it's just like that for an entire 60 minutes. And so I post them all.
Of course.
And of course, who gets famous? Andy Schaaf. What's the most viewed one? Over more than the Sheepdogs? Andy Schaaf. And the comment section is just like, you're the best, fire the host. This host sucks. Andy Schaaf, you're the greatest.
I love how
And the
you
best
always
though,
lean
the
into
best
that.
was this one girl goes, "I hope you're famous enough now that you don't have to do these sort of interviews." And I replied, "He is."
Oh! George Costanza always taught us, leave on a high note.
Right?
Buckle up and be ready for that big strip down episode. His name is Curtis Anderson. We love him around here. He's a family member, great dude.
Oh, thanks,
Thank
buddy.
you so much. The wrestling is always fun. And we will talk to you again very soon, bro.
All right, that's it. I'm out here.
Hey,
Camera
you're
one, and
outta
we
here.
disappear.
There it is.
Okay, all
Now
right.
you're good. And then there was one.
Oh,
So I got a text here saying, did you go the wrong way?
no,
Watch
I was
the-
trying to.
Watch
like
the TV.
Stage left.
Don't hurt yourself. Oh, you
Exit
Snagglepuss?
stage left. Little Rush
Exit
reference.
stage left even. I love Snagglepuss.
Wait, you need
You
a
get to
hand?
stay?
I don't know.
Matt Cuthbertson says, tell Coach Mazer thanks for the shout out and the reference to Slash.
Hey, he texts live on.
Yeah, he just
show
texted,
too?
yeah.
Sweet. I thought I was the only one that does that also.
No, I also see that Network Ryan texted saying, can I give you some homework? No, delete. What is this, school?
Figure out Zoom.
Get out of here. Yeah, that would be one. As we are halfway through the Wednesday edition of your show, hanging out with the Phenom on the ones and twos, we got Curtis Anderson in the house. Just finished a nice chat with him. We got Coach Kamatu, who's sitting in the Ed McMahon booth there. He looks so lonely. We better fill someone back in for him. If only there was someone. Oh, wait, there he is. You
me, he says?
know this man.
Is there anyone else
From
coming?
hometown rock, as well as being the voice of music in this city, ladies and gentlemen, Ugly Kid Joe. Woo!
Hi, everybody.
We love you so much.
It feels good to be loved.
I missed you, man.
It's been a while.
It's been way too long.
I don't know where
You
I've
gotta
been
say
or
that
what
right.
I've been doing. The
It's been a while.
time just kind of blurs together, and all of a sudden I'm like, I don't know what day or month it is.
Well, dude, to be fair, you did raise a crap ton of money for a great cause.
Yeah, that was 2 weeks ago. It feels like a
Congratulations.
month ago.
It looks like you're still wearing it.
It was,
As a
it
guy
was
who knows
long
how much
day.
work that goes into marathons, dude.
I'm taking
Very
some
proud of you.
night classes right now, so of
course
course I
you
was
are.
up at 3 in the morning, went to the radio marathon, spent the whole day there, and then
Dude.
spent another 4 hours at some night classes. So it was a long day, but
Why
we
do you-
raised $500,000 for breast
That's
cancer
what I'm saying.
research. So
That's what I'm saying.
that's
Here,
pretty
one more.
exciting.
Doesn't matter who you are, where you're from. That's incredible news, and we should all be very, very happy and proud of you guys.
Yeah.
Great job. Have you made it to any music shows lately?
I have. Yes, I've been very busy. I've been getting out. I was gonna say, like, as far as interviews go, man, I can appreciate how hard it is to get something out of somebody. I had Max from the Arkells on recently. Lovely guy. Like, and every time, like, you see him in person, the most friendly guy. I tried everything to just get some emotion out of this guy, and it must have just been a bad day, or he just woke up or something. Like, I was making jokes, I was just fluffing him a bit, like trying to at all these different angles, and like, man, this is
Nothing.
the most monotone chat I've ever had with somebody in my life. But
Coach Kamatu?
I have one question. Is fluffing in what you do different than the other term that I understand?
Same.
Same?
yeah,
Yeah,
It's
like
just-
get some enjoy.
yeah.
Okay.
It's more verbal.
Cool.
I was trying to get him excited.
Yeah.
And
All right.
it was just
It's
it
a
was
verbal
not
fluffer.
happening. Yeah, verbal fluffing.
Max from the Arkells was my first ever interview when I started on rock. The first one. And it was another guy who was supposed to do it, and he couldn't do it because he wasn't there, and everyone forgot about it. So like, all right, Garrett, go do that one. Like, okay.
It's kind of what happened to me.
Yeah,
I
just
was
get thrown in.
Nobody else is gonna do this.
He
I'll
was
do it.
he was so nice to me, and that's the crazy part. Because I told him straight up, like, yeah, man, just so you know, like, this is new for me, so I'll just shoot the shit. And he's like, yeah, for sure. And he was like, maybe it's because he knew that I
Yeah.
was new, so took it easy on me.
Yeah, I don't
But I
know.
always thought, like, he won me over. I'm not a big Arkells guy, but I've always been a fan of Max because of the way he treated me.
He's a fantastic guy, and like every time I've seen their show, I've been to a lot of they love Saskatoon.
Yeah.
One of their first shows ever
Very
was at
strange.
Amigos back in the day.
Yeah.
And so they've got a soft spot for Saskatoon.
Just not
And-
for you.
Yeah, apparently, like I just got on the phone. He's like,
Yikes.
I don't like the sound of this guy's voice. I'm being too hard. He was pleasant. I just I couldn't get the kind
We
of
also
what
did
I wanted.
talk about he's probably doing that whole thing where you're
That's
doing
the
9 or
thing,
10
yeah.
a day, and you're just getting worn out.
They're on tour. This is like their 4th show in 4 days.
Yeah.
He's probably tired of doing the old shtick at that point.
Absolutely,
So
I could definitely see that.
Hey, they put on an amazing show as per usual. Like, I'm not the biggest Arkells fan, but like it's just entertaining. He's out interacting with the crowd. They
Stage
got
presence.
the brass section. Like
Yeah.
they're just they feel fun every time.
So the interview went great.
Yeah, yeah.
You guys had a lot of fun.
There was a great show. They had an opener for him. Poolside. Never heard of them before.
That's a fun name.
But they dressed up as Ghostbusters because it was on Halloween, and they played a cover of Ghostbusters.
Come on.
And I'm sitting there and I'm realizing I've never heard Ghostbusters performed live before. And I was like, this is kind of a unique. It wasn't like perfect, but it was kind of just neat.
Or by anyone. Has there ever been any other covers of Ghostbusters?
I don't know. I thought to myself,
Ray Parker Jr.'s probably got that whole thing cornered. Hey, he's like, guys, that's all I got.
well, probably wasn't supposed to say that they did that because they probably don't want proof of it.
Touche. That's Ray Parker's gonna find him. He's gonna bust those ghosts, bro.
It was kind of a cool experience thinking, this is the first time in my life that I have heard that song.
That's very cool.
It's not Ray Parker, but hearing it live for the first time. So that was pretty neat.
Right on. I'm when was that show?
Halloween.
That Halloween night, yeah. Okay.
And then from
How
there...
was attendance there?
Not great.
Oh, well, that's, again, it goes back. Should you be doing SaskTel Center, right?
No.
Halloween.
And it was also Halloween. Like, they had
People might be a little busy that night.
I was chatting with the security guard. He said they had 800 people in before the Arkells. And then, like, it really filled up once 9 o'clock hit in there. I think, like, a lot of parents came from after dropping their kids off.
Finishing all that, yeah.
Going trick-or-treating and what. It did fill up. They ended up with a few thousand, I think, which is respectable. But that's also a reason, I think, SaskTel Center said they haven't done a Halloween show in 20 years. And that's probably why. People don't show up on Halloween.
Yeah. I agree.
People did show up for J.J. Wild at the Capitol.
That's your girl.
Sold
Did you
out
hold
show.
on? Did you get to meet and greet?
No, she was
Damn
coming.
it,
She was
Joel.
coming into the station. I had it all lined up. I did all the work.
You were
and
pumped
then
for that.
Her guy called me and said, "Hey, I'm so sorry. Some travel plans got mixed up. They're running really behind. She has to get straight to the venue." We ended up getting her on the phone and chatting with her, but I didn't get her in the building. I did tell the security guard at the venue that I was part of the band and just walked back and went and introduced myself before the show.
Yes.
So I didn't get a chance to meet her. She was genuinely a lovely person. Like,
See, and we've said that since day one.
day one? Oh, I thought you said
Day
day
one.
what?
No,
I was like,
we
well, day
said
one.
that since day one. But right when she broke out, I was like, man, I can't get behind any of these tunes, but she seems like a really nice gal.
And like, she's a very attractive person. And it was kind of neat with her on stage. She stopped a couple times and just talked about her experiences growing up and how like she was not a well-liked person in her school and like she got bullied a lot. And it was kind of, you just naturally thought.
One of us.
Yeah, so it's kind of neat being like, wow, she's gone out and made all this. You don't think of what she went through to get to where she was because you just see what she is now and you're like, oh, of course she had things so easier. She's talented and she's gorgeous and she's friendly. Like
Journey, man.
The life has to be easy, but everybody has those struggles. So long story short, she put on an amazing show. She's an incredible person. She's very tanned. Like,
Interesting.
I don't know if she just came back from Mexico or a hot holiday or if she just spent some time in the tanning booth, but that was the first thing I noticed. I was like, you're very tanned.
Wait, she's just dark skinned. What's her nationality?
Canadian?
I was gonna say, like you would know, hey? Like, come on. This is how not to have a conversation. Just throw questions that have no possible answers. Makes for a great flow.
On top of that, though, she was amazing performance. 7 Mile Sun, local band. opened up for 'em.
That's your squad right
Oh
there.
yeah,
I
they
like
were
those guys.
fantastic. That was my first time getting to see them live. Like we've interacted with them so much.
Numerous.
And Kim, of course, won a contest with us to go on stage and sing with Nickelback once upon a time.
So cool.
She's an incredible vocalist, and she did the drumming. Like, you know how much respect you got for drummers that can also sing.
Very hard to do.
Really cool and impressive to see her doing that. And
Shout
like,
out
the
to
vocals were on point.
Brothers G.
Brothers G, yes.
Singing drummers, so bad.
Bran.
I can't. It's just like
Naylor.
I can't like eat food and like be on my phone at the same time. Like that, I struggle with that.
Different parts of the brain, man. It doesn't work.
So to see them doing like all the things with their hands and their feet, and then like being in the mic and doing the vocals and hitting everything,
incredible.
It's pretty amazing. So that was all around fantastic show. And then coming up this Friday, another couple of bands that I love and I've seen a few times. Check Out Queens and a band from Lethbridge, I believe, called Fawns are opening up. Not like Fawns like Jump the Shark Fawns, but like the mythical creature Fawns.
Like baby deers is what I was thinking of, like a fawn.
Okay, that too.
Yeah.
I was thinking Happy Days.
Fonzie.
Fawn isn't that the guy with the pipe and the Danny DeVito voiced in the Hercules movie? Isn't that a fawn?
Oh,
It's a great, like the
little
what are those
wooden
called?
pipe.
Mongolian flutes?
Something like
Something
that.
like that.
Yeah.
They're really
That's-
cool. What the
yeah.
guy's like, hey Herc, that guy?
Wasn't it Danny
Yeah.
DeVito that?
I don't know.
Danny DeVito. We're all over the
We're
place.
way out of it. We got our stats guy on. He'll let us know.
Yeah.
It's a centaur and Danny DeVito was in the Disney movie.
Yeah. So
There
I
you
got
go.
one part of it right.
There we are. There's
Jeez.
always a tiny bit of there.
We
A
might be
tiny
mixing
bit.
what Fawns are up. But anyways, both Fawns and Checkout Queens are opening up for Green Wing because they're heading off on a cross
Green
Canada
Wing.
tour.
Tell us more about Green Wing, man, because you guys have been really connected with this band going back to when I was still there.
Yeah.
There's a good connection, and they're doing great things.
So-
His name Anthony?
Anthony and Matt are kind of the two that
you
I
go.
chat with the most.
Wait for it.
And
Who's Anthony? Who's Anthony?
I'm still looking up the fonts.
Oh, okay.
I checked out. Sorry.
Sorry.
you're going to find
Wayne's World.
pictures of Happy Days if you Google the Fawns.
Clearly.
High school party. Did they sing that? Is this them?
Here we go.
I don't know.
All right.
Okay,
I
baby,
don't know
don't
much
play
about
it.
them other than that they're
don't
gonna be
get
there.
us copyright.
Sorry.
So, back to the
Sorry.
band, Green Wing. Tell us more.
Green Wing. Yeah, I think they first kind of I learned about them because I wasn't doing Hometown Rock at the time. They ended up somebody dropped out for the 3 Days Grace show, and they ended up last minute jumping in and opening
I was
up
doing
for,
Hometown Rock. I blew it. I blew it again.
So they stepped in last minute and opened up for 3 Days Grace, and I think a lot of people
That
that
was
night
their
were
moment,
like,
hey?
wow,
Yeah.
holy crap,
are
what
these
is
guys?
what
What's
is going
happening?
on?
Yeah.
Why don't we know more about these guys? And
Yes,
so they're a lovely group of people as well. So I've had the pleasure of interacting with them on many an occasion, and so they're heading out on this tour, and they've released a new song today. And I know how much you love cover songs. They did a cover of Sweet Caroline.
Oh, no.
And it's all sorts of good. It's like it's Sweet Caroline. It's got the bop bop bahs and all the great sing along moments. But they also took and they put the Green Wing spin on it, and it's punk rocky, and it's Neil Diamond-y, and it's just everything. Like it's like having steak and potatoes. Steak is great. Potatoes is great. You put them together.
Ooh,
Oh,
mama.
I had steak and potatoes for dinner last night, coincidentally. So.
I couldn't tell.
What type of potatoes?
Oh, yeah. How do you prepare them?
The golden potatoes, because I was
Yeah.
doing it in an air fryer, and russet potatoes don't get quite the same like crisp on them as
Okay,
as
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
I knew that.
put a little basil, some garlic powder, salt and pepper. Nothing too crazy.
Potatoes, yeah.
You
How'd you
can't
do
go
the
wrong
steak?
with a classic.
Barbecue?
Steak was also in the air fryer because I don't have a barbecue.
That's the way to
currently.
do it, I hear, is the air frying steaks is the new thing.
I've done it multiple times. Sometimes it doesn't go great. I wanted a pan sear 'em because man, does that ever just like seal in the flavor?
So fancy
Based
with your
in butter.
meals.
Oh.
The butter basting.
So good, but it's also very messy. And I was cooking for somebody, and I didn't want to like make a gigantic mess.
Yes.
And so I was like, you can't screw up a steak in an air fryer.
I got in a lot of trouble when I tried to do that. I had the butter in there and I had all the spices and stuff, not knowing that it would start bubbling. And
Oh, yeah.
by the time I was done, I took the frying pan off of the top, and the whole oven top covered in oil and grease. Like the whole thing, not just like around that one spot. It was like leaning over to the countertops. It's like, ooh, I think I messed up that a little bit, but it was delicious.
You've got a little deep fryer in a pan, and you have fat and moisture going into boiling oil. Like it's gonna go places.
It's gonna
So-
dance.
Did I ever tell you about how I deep fried my hand one time? Fun
I'm
fact.
so excited to hear this.
Don't do that. I was working out at a little place outside Lumsden and Craven called the Snack Shack, flipping
Snacky
burgers.
Shack.
If you ever go to Craven Country Thunder, it's right on the corner. Great place, good fries, burgers. But I was chatting with somebody, and you get the fry dipper to get all the fries that fill out of the trays so it doesn't all build up. And I was dipping for leftover fries when somebody called my name, so I kind of turned and looked right as I dipped, and my whole hand just right into the deep fryer.
What was the first thought?
Ow.
I get that.
It took a
And
second to like sink in that, oh my goodness, I've just deep fried my hand, and that has to be the most pain I think I've ever been in. I've broken bones.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
done a variety of dumb things to my body, and that might take the cake. I actually slept with my hand in a cup of water overnight. I don't know how. Yeah, I woke up in the morning, my hand was still in the cup of the water on this night. It didn't knock it over,
or
didn't
anything.
pull it out. Slept the whole night with my hand in a cup of water because
Dude.
it was so bad.
Did it smell good though, at least?
It tastes like chicken a little bit.
Just
nibble
nibbling
it
your-
on. It's like, oh,
Man, how did it come out? Was it like just like peeling off or?
Oh yeah, the
red
skin
or-
started
oh.
blistering like immediately. Like
Yeah.
it's
That's
not a pleasant
crazy.
experience. So
What is that oil at degree wise? Isn't it 500 or something?
No, like 375, 425 ish.
It's got to be
that range.
hot over 4.
That's a good question. I want to say like over 4.
I've
It
watched
seems
enough
like
cooking shows to know that like fries and that sort of thing are usually around 375.
We're gonna.
We're
find
looking
out.
it up.
We're gonna find out.
These are the fawns?
I love fact checking.
Yes.
Yes, we have found them.
The band, the Fonz, as we're hanging out with Ugly Kid Joel from Hometown Rock, talking about the time he deep fried his hand,
Yeah,
local
we're-
music, and so much more.
Kind of been all over.
Damn
the
it,
place.
This
Gary.
is good. What's up, buddy?
I feel like I'm stealing Phenom's thunder here by being the fact checker. I'm
You know,
sorry.
he doesn't talk. He's a hand. He doesn't
You know
like
what?
going
That's
on the mic.
true. He also, when you guys were talking, he's been clapping when he agrees with one. Well, his only hand. It's the hand,
that,
but he's
yeah.
been
That's
doing
how he
that.
talks. That's how he-
And I've the stuff you never get to see on the show. Phenom's doing
You got
it.
the
It's
window
very,
right here.
like,
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. We need a producer cam in there.
325 to 375 depending on the oil. So peanut oil or canola or whatever you'd use.
Shout out to canola.
So my hand was briefly 375 degrees.
that's
and
crazy,
I don't
hey?
suggest that.
How did you? Okay, real quick before we move on from this, how did you get it off? Like, did you just instantly pull it out and like start washing, or what do
I
you
don't
do?
even remember.
would
I
just
think
be
I
like,
just
"Ah!"
pulled it over, and there's like a big sink nearby, and I think I just ran over and
Cold
started
water.
pouring cold water. I finished my shift.
That's
Fun
impressive.
fact: like once you burn yourself, and then you're anywhere near heat, it's like
Yeah.
you're reburning it again. So I spent the rest of my shift over the grill and just like, ow, ow.
No, that's a.
I was young and dumb and didn't realize that I probably should have like gone home and maybe got like workers' comp or something. For that.
Anything. Like, that's
Yeah.
horrific. Ugh, I don't like that.
No scars too much? You didn't scar
No.
up? You just was a
The
clean
skin,
removal.
yeah, the skin all just eventually peeled off, and I had a nice new fancy hand for a little while.
Interesting.
I bet you some places that's considered a beautiful treatment or a beauty treatment
Yeah.
for short.
People pay for chemical peels.
Yeah.
I got a free one.
You're ahead of the game. All right. Any other music coming up that we should know about?
We had a lot of fun this week. I had a new band in Go Bois, who've been around for a while.
Bois?
Bois.
Bois.
BWAH.
Bois.
Brody and Jason popped in studio, and I suggested that, and apparently rightfully so, that they reminded me of the B-52s in their music and their
hold on.
vocals. And it's impressive how like
got
they're
this.
you hear it and it's like, wow, that sounds like the B-52s.
I got this. I got me a car. It's as big as a whale, and it's about to set sail.
Hey, you got another act for the show.
I got me a car, and it seats about 20. So come on and play that jukebox, Sonny. You're not
I
gonna
like
take it
it.
away? I thought
No, it's
you're
your
gonna
show.
high note it
Oh,
for me.
I was
the
just
girl part.
supporting.
Okay.
Well, the love shack is a
I knew it was
little
coming.
old place where. Good.
Okay. There's
more of
also
a-
a song they do called Fruitcake,
I like
which
Rock
is
Lobster,
really good.
personally.
Rock Lobster? Yeah, man. Family Guy took Rock Lobster to the next level, hey? Holy moly.
I'm now following the Fawns on the Spotify. And what was this? Rick Dubois?
Who?
No, Dubois, did you say?
Go Bois.
Bois.
Oh,
Go Bois.
Bois.
BWAH.
AKA, would you call them the C-52s?
I don't know. It's
Would be a good
GWOH?
G-O.
Yeah,
Go.
yeah.
And Bois. B.
He's going to
B
be
as
an
in
expert in all of these now.
Brittany. B is in Brittany.
Go Bois. Ouch. Oh, no.
But
Can't
yeah,
find
like
it.
it's a rocky B-52s, like
I love it.
and it's a very interesting,
love
unique
it.
experience. Like I love finding and listening to this kind of music for the first time, even if it's not your thing necessarily. Like just experience new things because it's amazing to see what people in Saskatoon are out doing. There's some really
that.
cool stuff.
That's, and Curdy and I were talking earlier about, everyone always talks about, oh, COVID, it shut all this down, this and that and that. I always like to say, yeah, it shut all that down, but look at all the opportunity we have now. Like before that, this place could never exist. And now, look what we're doing. And all these doors have been opened if you just can find a way to get into something that you're really passionate about. So
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%, man. It's out there. We just got to start focusing on the people that are doing it.
One more thing coming up on Friday, because Checkout Queens are coming on tomorrow. And then Friday is a band out of Regina called Jackson Jokers. Two-piece band. One of them's a high school principal.
Come
like
on.
just these average, really cool guys.
love that.
So friendly, and they've got some great music. They're putting out a single this Friday called Bagel Bites. And believe it or not, it is about their love of bagel bites.
I love bagel bites.
Yeah. Who has not burned the top of their mouth on
the
some
bagel
bagel
bites.
bites before?
Yeah, no kidding.
Uber Driver is the song we play.
That's awesome. Okay, well, thank you very much. We have a little tribute that Maze and I have to do now, so we're going to have to send you on your merry way.
This is not the greatest show in the world. This is just a tribute.
Oh, Tenacious D. Ladies and gentlemen, Ugly Kid Joe! My man. Are you sticking around for a bit or you got to run? Sweet, okay. So, Coach, 2 was on the show on Monday, and we were going to try to squeeze a little tribute in, and we decided to just wait for it and do it today. So you want to do it from over there, or how do you want to do this?
move
You
in?
can come in here if you want.
I don't know if I want to sit in that seat. It might
Okay,
be a
go.
little bit deep fried. you
Head
know?
over there. It smells like those delicious burgers.
I didn't shower today.
Hey, you look great, but I told you.
Well, yeah, it is interesting. Very warm.
Oh,
About
yeah.
350.
A couple butts on there. He's got a hot ass. That's why we call him hot ass.
Those
Joe.
are all those lunges you've been doing.
He does work out a lot.
We should have
Still
a-
running? Are you running, bro?
I was running this morning.
God, I don't know how you do that to your knees.
I like
Crazy.
fast food, so.
So do I. I guess I quit drinking. That was my
So are you
sacrifice.
marathon running? Are you running
sacrifice.
5K, 10K?
Usually 10K in the morning. I have done half marathons,
That's insane.
Good for you.
but I'm still jiggling everywhere I go. So obviously something's not working.
I think, yeah, you're not bodybuilding, you're not body sculpting, you're just staying in
break.
shape. That's good. We got to check back in with Cato. We tried to get him on that one day.
Put that
What's
thing
wrong?
down so it's just not in your face.
Keep
other-
that thing
like
down
this.
so it's
Good
not
one.
in your face.
Yeah, there you go. Your beautiful face.
All
yes,
right.
Cato with the book.
Cato with the book, but also Cato with the marathon running.
Oh, yeah, his marathon around the
Dude
world.
does
a lot of
dude
things.
does like a triathlon or whatever every month, every
crazy.
week kind of thing, ripping.
Yeah,
but
we'll
it's good
update
for
with
him.
Okay, tell us what's going on here. We got about 9-10 minutes.
9-10 minutes, but we could go overtime,
Yeah, of course.
and there's no rules, right?
Yep.
Are you ready? Like, are you queued up? Would you be able to read with me? That would be the idea.
At the same time?
Well,
Or just do
alternating
parts?
like we
Okay.
did again.
Yeah.
But so my Uncle Brian, huge influence in my life, at young life, and as you get older, sad things happen. We all get older, and you get busy with your own family and creating, so you lose touch with your family a little bit. It's hard to stay connected. But one thing he did, I called him today because he's been wanting to tell me the origin of the Babble Box, and I think Curtis Anderson would be amazing at Babble Box stories because he can just talk, right?
I don't know what a Babble Box is.
Well, I thought it was a thing that people did, and you have a family, and you have these little traditions that you set in place for a short period of time, but they stick with you for your entire life. And I thought people knew I thought a Babble Box was a thing. Turns out my uncle just got it. It's a reference from the book by Robert Hyman, Stranger in a Strange Land. I don't know if you guys know that book. My uncle says we should read that book. He says top 3 books for him are the book 1984, okay, Fahrenheit 451, and Stranger in a Strange Land. So in the book Stranger in a Strange Land, there's an old cranky guy that refers to everything on the TV as a Babble Box. So he took that, and then on Sundays after dinner or something like that, they might sit in the living room or they're maybe around the table, and he would tell a story, and it would just be about anything. Could be nonsense or nonsensical. It could be anything. It could be something related to current events or anything. But he'd usually try and infuse the people around the table into the story.
Okay.
So then they took that a step further, and when we'd go camping, my whole mother's side of the family would try and meet up a few times, different ages. So we might be at Cypress Hills, which has significance. We would go there often, or Pike Lake or Candle Lake or anywhere we could get together. And we'd sit around the fire. He'd do 2 tricks. One, he would tie garbage bags in knots, hang it from a tree, and light it on fire. If you ever do that, it sounds like fireworks. It sounds this sing, little sound that was really good.
So the knots are like bombs?
Yeah, it's just like it sounds, this whistling sound. We do that. We'd also, Uncle Brian would sit around the fire and just tell a Babble Box story, right? One thing I didn't know, because I was one of the kids listening to it after we would go to bed, as he just informed me today, that sometimes people in neighboring campgrounds would come by and say, well, how does the story end? And it was like, well, there was no point. It was just a story. It was just a story until the kids would get tired and be like, check out, right? So another fun fact. So that's a Babble Box. So that was significant. I think Curtis would be amazing. I'd like to attempt to do that one day where we just tell a story and do our best. And it just could be about anything.
It's
just
like
us
improv
talking.
storytelling.
Improv storytelling, whatever's in your head.
Yeah.
Or it could be literally that improv. Sometimes we would shout out what we want the story to be about, like spaceships or
give me a location and
all
an
that
occupation.
stuff and just
Yes.
tell a little story. So that was pretty interesting. Another thing we talked about today, that every night he reads with his granddaughter to this day still, which is pretty awesome. So
Really sad.
What's that?
Sorry, I'm getting emotional. I apologize.
Why?
I told you.
Get emotional. Yeah, you're an emotional guy. So
am.
anyway, so That had nothing. That was just a little tidbit because that's a throwback to the one person or two people that watched the
That's
time that I
called
covered for you
background.
as hosting.
Yes.
And I was just talking about BabbleBox stories, right?
Yep.
So another thing Brian did, I think this is called canon, or what was the word you used, Curtis?
Oh shit.
It starts with a C as well, but this would be like a canon. So my uncle Brian wrote a piece, a creed or a canon, or just a tribute to people that live a certain way, and recognizing how we're all part of
Something bigger.
something way bigger, right? Something not even, it's unfathomable what we do, like existence. The moment you get to play, the moment you get to have with people, and the differences that you have, whatever. So we'll just let this piece go. I've never read this out loud. I think the title has changed once or twice, as most recently as yesterday, potentially.
Wow.
But if Phenom, if you want to throw that up on the camera, if you can.
There we go.
This is called A Citizen of the Universe, or Citizens of the Universe. I'm not sure which it is, but I'll start it off, and if we want to just
Well, paragraph.
paragraph, or star.
Paragraph.
Okay, which I think are the stars, but we'll just flow.
Yeah, they
We'll
actually are.
try.
You're exactly right.
Okay, so this is A Citizen of the Universe by Brian Zeman. People who see themselves as a citizen of the universe are those who share many of the following characteristics.
Beyond just understanding and believing, you're at home in the universe.
There is no right or wrong with the universe. Just as all particles and energy in the universe are in exactly the correct position and quantity all of the time, so too are you. You belong. No sex, sexual orientation, skin color, height, weight, religion, political grouping, geographical location, or any other kinds of divisions we might create changes that. You are an integral and equal part in the universe.
Everything begins with awareness. This is not just the ability to be aware, but more importantly, it is the willingness to pay attention, to explore, to ask questions worth asking, to seek answers. The more awareness you generate, the more you will know, and also the more that you don't yet know.
Compared to the enormity of the time and space of the universe, your own quantity of time is minuscule, yet it is significant. Time is valuable, and once spent is gone forever. No second is more important than any other. By living in the present moment, you know they all matter, and now is all you have.
Your body is composed of the matter of the universe. The iron in your blood originated from some exploding stars eons ago. The air you hold in your lungs has circulated the earth for millennia.
The energy you possess is derived from the universe and will return to the universe when you no longer require any. There is a balance and a rhythm to the universe. It expands and contracts, continually birthing and dying. So too do you.
Pain and difficulties are your friends. They are simply information that you pay attention to as they provide feedback about how well you're doing.
Every thought, feeling, and action is a choice you make, no matter what you decide to think, feel, or act on, or not think, feel, or act on. Every choice you could have made exists, and you are 100% responsible for the consequences of it all.
You realize all the national boundaries, religious affiliations, and political ideologies are simply artificial, man-made contrivances to keep people apart. You see beyond all these differences and share in and promote a common humanity with the universe.
While you're not predestined in any way to be or do anything, you know you are not here by accident, and that you possess a worthwhile purpose, which includes caring for yourself and others, and for treating your environment with respect now and for future generations. Once you have clearly determined your life's reason, you are willing to trust that the universe will attract the people and resources to fulfill your chosen path. Your life, you live your life with intention and on purpose.
Just as the universe is positive and ever-changing, you are optimistic and willing to embrace change. You are both without boundaries and limits.
Mankind has looked with curiosity and wonder out toward the universe. While we share that sense of awe, you know the universe of your own inner space is just as immense and perhaps even more worthy of study. You know that self-knowledge and understanding will lead to peace and harmony with all our universes together.
When I come on here and I talk about the universal callings and all these signs that helped get us on the road to create this place, that's what I'm talking about. That was good.
Very good.
Dang. Well done. See? And now it's here forever.
Now it's here.
Did
And
you
I'm
get
getting
emotional? Yeah.
I'm here. I
That's
felt
it.
it. More you're reading, great reader you are.
Wow.
But I think, that was worthwhile.
Absolutely.
It's good. I haven't read it out loud before. So all of a sudden I got nervous because I was like, wait, Uncle Brian's smart. He's going to throw in words that
We didn't even proofread. I know. There's a lot of words in there.
Just like, but it was okay. It wasn't that bad, actually. It was pretty simple. I think that was the purpose, is that sometimes you write to an audience. You can write, like his son, Scott, and Shannon, great people. But Scott, when I talk to him, sometimes his vocabulary is a little bit richer than mine. And even Jason needs to dumb things down for me a little bit. So I was just like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. But then I'm just like, I think I know what that word means, but I'd never use it. So I think when you write about the universe and being one, it's got to be as simple as possible, because everybody has to be able to buy in. So
That's amazing.
Uncle Brian, that was amazing.
Thank you, Uncle Brian. Thank you very much. We're gonna make sure that's a promo. We're gonna get that put together and out there. Phenom, what do you say we get Frankie ready to go here? Just let me know when you start it so I can start my counter, because our transmitter isn't working. All right. Well, see, that's why I didn't want to do it at the start.
Yeah, it set a tone, especially that would be heavy to follow. And the guys on today are amazing and great, but that would be
tough to be that
tough to
fun after
follow
that.
Yeah.
No, that's incredible. Thank you for bringing that in. I'm happy we didn't rush that either. Like we rushed the Field of Dreams one.
Yeah, it was good. You know what? I love doing that. I would like to do it again. I'd like to even start a book club or something, because I got to read more. I don't read enough. I'm going to start with those 3, I think. And maybe we could throw that a challenge and just have little conversations about those books that he listed there.
Don't you dare challenge me at making the world a better place. That's what we literally end every show saying.
How great is that guy's life, though, to go so many music?
Ugly Kid Joel?
Yeah.
Best.
Why do you call him ugly?
Because that's his what's it, like his handle? That's his character. It's Ugly Kid Joel from Hometown Rock.
So it's like Shaggy.
Yeah. He'd wear the paper bag to shows.
Yeah.
Because his picture is with the paper bag on. But it got in the way a little too much, eh?
You know what sucks? I mix up Ugly Kid Joe with Green Jelly, because it's from the time zone.
Little pig, let me
So what
in.
did Ugly Kid Joe sing?
Everything about you.
Oh, everything about I can't stand it. The Cats and the dude.
And the Silver
Universal
Spoon.
Calling. No joke. My Uncle Brian today finished our conversation, and he said Harry Chapin. He watched it the other day, and the song "Cats in a Cradle" has so much meaning about connecting with the people you love, and just not being able to find a way to do it. And here's Ugly Kid Joe with
Joel.
We're talking Joel, but Joel doing a cover,
Bringing it together.
bringing it all together, and we're talking about covers.
Right.
Wild.
I'm learning that song on guitar.
Get out of here.
I was playing it last night,
Cats in
and
the
my
Cradle.
son, the Phenom, was like, "Hey, Dad, can I?" And I was like, "Not now!"
Yeah.
Just want to have a catch, Dad. Please.
I hope that wasn't a joke.
Oh, man. Well, thank you again to Curdy Anderson, to the Phenom, Ugly Kid Joel, and to you and to Uncle Brian, man. That was some beautiful, beautiful stuff. Remember, do good things. They'll start happening to you. This is what we talk about all the time with karma. All right? You take care. Have a great night.